I'm just kidding and he's just kidding is what we do. We're just kidding and they're just kidding, you kid a little bit too. When we feel like singing, we invite some friends. We'll have some fun and laugh a lot and hope it never. I'm just kidding and he's just kidding is what we do. We're just kidding and they're just kidding, you kid a little bit too.
East 7th Avenue.
When I was just a boy in corduroy, a boy so full of joy and of the hoi polloi. I'm sorry if I'm starting to annoy you. Had a little house with a little mouse, my mommy and a spouse. My sister wore a blouse with a bucket full of water I could douse you. 10102 East 7th Avenue, that's where I grew up to be a kid. 10102 East 7th Avenue, now let me tell you all the things we did. Hey, we played a lot of tag, had marbles in a bag, went fishing, got a snag, and putting up a flag, and I was just a little scallywag. Yeah, we played a lot of games, I built a lot of frames, got called a lot of names, and took a lot of blames. I'm lucky that my family still claims me. 10102 East 7th Avenue, that's where I grew up to be a kid. 10102 East 7th Avenue, now let me tell you all the things we did. Caught a frog and sitting on a log. I read a catalog and falling down and landing on my noggin. Going to the mall and climbing on the wall and growing kinda tall. I played a lot of ball and thinking when I sing it's caterwauling. 10102 East 7th Avenue, that's where I grew up to be a kid. 10102 East 7th Avenue, now let me tell you all the things we did. But I think that I already did 2, 3 at 10102 East 7th Avenue. And our phone number was Empire 6 9683.
Hey there, everybody. Hi, I'm John Wood.
And hi, I'm Dan Crow, and welcome to another segment of Just Kiddin'.
Yes, sirree. Hey, Dan, who's our special guest today?
Well, no kidding, today's guest is Dan Crow. So I would like to ask Dan Crow, where'd that 10102 East 7th Avenue come from? Well, Dan Crow, that's my address where I grew up, and I was inspired by that as a youngster to write a little song about it, because I like the way that sounded. What do you mean by the way it sounded, Dan Crow? Well, I mean 10102 East 7th Avenue. Get it? It rhymes. Wow, Dan Crow, that's very clever.
So, excuse me for interrupting you both, but
I'm glad you did.
What would have happened if you lived next door? Would you have had another? Would that have been 10102 7th Avenue? So that'd be 10104. I'm just right next door.
That's true. That song would have taken a different direction, no question. Every rhyme would have been different all the way through. And that's a good point, John. I'm glad you brought that up.
It's a salient point.
So this little house was so much fun to grow up in, and it inspired me to do a whole CD around the thing, because it was just had that feel to it, you know.
And what is the title of your new CD?
Now that's called As the Crow Flies. Been wanting to use that for a long time.
Wow, that is great. So, and then you have a collection of how many songs?
There are.
I'm directing this to either Dan Crow.
Okay, well, let me then ask the Dan Crow, is our guest, that question too, although he just got that. I think that this is fun. This is a parallel universe we're living in here right now.
Yeah, this is almost like a bizarro universe. Now I don't know which Dan Crow is. Would the real Dan Crow please stand up?
Okay. Oh, sorry.
They both stood up at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm so confused right now, but let's move ahead with our interview. How many songs are on the album?
Oh, there are 12 songs, and...
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We have another guest. It's the John Wood that actually helped to co-produce the album. He's here.
John, do you have anything to ask John?
Well, I'm going to talk like this because then you'll be able to know that I'm a different John Wood that played on the album. Wow, John Wood, that's an interesting voice. Where did you get that from? Oh, it was left over from Joaquin Phoenix. That's interesting. So, in a sense, it arises from the ashes. That's right. I had a lot of fun playing on the album. Right, Dan?
Yes, it was correct. And I would like to use a different voice, too. This is my other voice as I do the other Dan Crow.
Oh,
so
I remember that voice.
Maybe. But I love to do voices, so you know, and this is the way anyway, yes, it was great having you on the album, John. And co-producing the album along with Brian Chapman too. So we had a lot of fun absolutely doing this album.
That was a lot of fun. Hey, matter of fact, Dan, you feel like playing another song from the album?
One of the songs that was on the album came from an experience over in Hawaii where one of my buddies, Steve Miner, we were out boogie boarding, a whole bunch of us out off the Maui, and Stevie got flipped over by the wave and boogie boarding, and it bumped his head on the sand, and he stood up, and it was bleeding. It was terrible.
So he really hit his head
really
pretty
hit his
hard.
head on the sand. So he had to get out of the water for 5 days because that could get infected, of course. And we felt so bad for him that he had to stay out of the water for all those days. And about the third day where he bumped himself, it turned real bright purple. And so we, myself and the friends around all of our families, we decided to write him a song to make him feel better.
So what was he doing during this time? I mean, he couldn't go in the water, and he's in this beautiful Maui.
Sitting out there on the beach, watching us all out there having fun and in the water ourselves, and I felt so bad for him.
He wasn't in the hotel room binge watching TV shows?
No.
So he really was
Scooby-Doo.
participating. That's great.
Right.
Good for him. And so the
He
song
binge
we're gonna-
watching the Andy Griffith Show.
The Andy Griffith. I can't even whistle it. So we're going to listen to Stevie's Got a Maui Owie.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Stevie's got a Maui owie. Stevie's got a little scrape. Stevie's got a Maui owie. It looks just like a purple grape. Now Stevie is a boogie boarding dude out on Wailea Bay. Stevie's got a surfing attitude. Stevie got a wild wave. Oh, Stevie's got a Maui owie. Stevie's got a little scrape. Stevie's got a Maui owie. It looks just like a purple grape. Now Stevie like to swim out very far. The snorkeling's beyond belief. Bahuma huma nuka nuka apu saw Stevie bump into a reef. Ow, Stevie's got a Maui owie. Stevie's got a little scrape. Stevie's got a Maui owie. It looks just like a purple grape. Now Stevie's got a Maui owie. Stevie's got a little scrape. Stevie's got a Maui owie. It looks just like a purple grape. Yeah, Stevie's got a Maui owie. Stevie's got a little scrape. Stevie's got a Maui owie. It looks just like a purple grape. That's right. It looks just like a purple grape. It looks just like a purple grape. That's a boo-boo.
Terrific song. Who played that amazing guitar?
Why, that was the other John Wood.
Yeah, I really enjoyed playing that a lot. It was a lot of fun.
Some good sounding stuff on there. Yeah, we had a lot of great musicians that worked on this album. John and Pam Wood, and we had Brian Chapman playing a lot of the instruments on here too. And also we had Chaz Ross doing percussion.
The amazing Fred Sokolow.
Fred Sokolow, who was a standby, been on just about all of the CDs that we've done over the years, and I think this is our 12th one, I believe, our 12th or 13th CD, solo CD.
Wow.
Doesn't count anthology CDs, too, that we've done over the years also.
Yeah, my aunt, Thology, she lives up in Missouri.
Your aunt?
I know who she is too. And she has she collects stuff.
Yeah, that's your Aunt Hazel, right?
Pardon me?
Your Aunt Hazel. Hazel. Sorry.
Did you say Hazel?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. No, it's a different aunt. It's
Okay.
Anthology
Okay, well,
who collects it. But yeah, obviously we digress. as
like we
usual.
always do.
Yeah, once you guys get back on track. Okay, so
It's easy to digress when you're interviewing yourself.
one thing that I find very interesting about you, in fact, it's probably the only thing, is that you travel a lot. You travel all over the world, don't you?
Absolutely. Been to all. This has been a really the benefit of doing family music for so many years, which is going on a lot of years. I don't want to mention it, but well,
How
I
many
will.
years? Go ahead.
That's 38 years of doing it. Yeah.
Boy, that's a lot of years.
So anyway, and that was the years I got fortunate enough. I've been fortunate enough to go travel overseas a lot and do to Europe, and been to Japan and the Philippines and Australia and New Zealand and all over Europe, of course, and Mexico and Canada, and every state in the United States except one state I have yet to get to. I don't know why that hasn't happened yet, but one of these days I will get to Vermont.
To Vermont, all of you Vermontians, I don't think that's the right term, the people that live in Vermont, this is an opportunity to get Dan Crow to Vermont and be the last state to have Dan Crow.
The Vermonties.
Yes. So please,
Yeah,
call in.
please do so. And so during the travels, I've always traveled with my guitar. And a few years ago in Omaha, Nebraska, some of the kids at a performance they did asked what my guitar's name was, and I said, I don't know. I never ever thought about naming my guitar. B.B. King can name his guitar Lucille. I never would be presumed to name my guitar. But they asked if they could name it, and they took a vote over a period of a day or two, because I was at a school that I was performing at, and over the 2 days all the kids pitched in and thought of these names, and they finally came up with a name for my guitar. And yeah,
What did they come up with?
they came up with the name Bob.
Bob.
Yeah,
Hours of. So our educational system is right on track.
exactly.
Now, kids that are listening, what is Bob spelled backwards?
Think about that,
There you go.
and we'll listen to
TikTok,
the Ballad of Bob.
the Ballad of Bob. Here we go with Dan and his guitar Bob. Now listen to all the places that Dan has visited, and if you've visited any of those places, well, good for you. Here we go.
Got an old guitar and his name is Bob. Writing songs and singing is our full-time job. Been around the world and seen lots of things. The only thing that Bob enjoys are brand new strings. Now we've been to Portland, Oregon, and the Portland that's in Maine, and the Madrid in New Mexico, and the Madrid that's in Spain, and the Paris in California, and the Paris that's in France, and the famous Rome in Italy, and the one in Georgia just by chance, and Aurora, Colorado, and Aurora, Illinois, Australia, and New Zealand, and Bora Bora, boy. And we've been to Frankfurt, Germany, and Frankfurt, Indiana. We ate mussels down in Brussels, and we're cattle in Montana. Got an old guitar and his name is Bob. Writing songs and singing is our full-time job. Been around the world and seen lots of things. The only thing that Bob enjoys are brand new strings. We've seen the icy land of Greenland and the green of Iceland too, Alaska and Nebraska and the Homestead, Florida Zoo. And we've been to Oxford, England and to Oxford, Mississippi. And we sang in San Francisco where we met a former hippie. And we've been to towns that end with falls like Idaho and Sioux and Klamath and Niagara and Okanagan too. And we've been to Seoul, Korea, and ate soul food in LA. Said aloha to Hawaii, that's our favorite place to stay. Got an old guitar and his name is Bob. Writing songs and singing is our full-time job. Been around the world and seen lots of things. The only thing that Bob enjoys are brand new strings. Got an old guitar and his name is Bob. He got that name in Omaha while playing on the job. The kids that gave it to him said they really liked that name. We travel for the fun of it and never for the fame.
Well, we're back. What a terrific song. And by the way, when I first came to Canada from England, moving there, we actually lived in Niagara Falls before we came to Buffalo, New York.
Great.
To America.
Mention that place where you lived, Aurora, Colorado, where I grew up, was in there. I know it was really fun to try to think of those places that are named the same in different parts of the world.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So, palindrome, that's one of your favorite words, isn't it?
Yeah, like the word Bob, B-O-B, Bob, B-O-B backwards, and that all came. I started writing songs when I was a teacher, elementary school teacher. I had a lot of. I wanted to get the kids interested in whatever we were talking about, a concept at the time. So I did a whole lot of songs about parts of speech, like adjectives and nouns and adverbs and pronouns, and then I extended that into wordplay, for example, palindromes and word etymology, the origins of words and things of that sort. And that kind of helped me create a bunch of songs, a library of songs, and that led to also writing songs that had to do with phonics, because I was a speech therapist at one time, so I tried to create songs that might help the kids learn certain sounds, and also reading specialist. So you are working with the sounds of letters, like the K's and the C's and the L's and the R's and the S's, the alphabet.
Well, that's really interesting, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you, Other John.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Where's the other Dan? Is the other Dan still?
Thank you.
Okay,
I
good.
appreciate that.
So it's just basically the four of us here. So that's interesting. So you actually came from a speech therapy background, and so you were teaching in the schools.
Yes, yes.
And so out of that, I know that we met years ago, and you were performing at schools in Santa Monica, as I recall.
Yeah, just working as I had already taught school before that, and went in and was just being an associate. I was just working part time at that one school where we met, because you guys were putting on a series of concerts, and I just had started to try to get involved with doing the live performance, and was influenced by you and Pam, your work, and Marcia Berman and Patty Zaitlin, and all those wonderful people, and Hap Palmer, who we interviewed on one of our shows here. Anyway, those people all influenced me to kind of start to create more live music type material. So those were songs like Kiss a Cow came from, and my arrangement of Apples and Bananas, and Oops, and all those kinds of songs.
I think Kiss a Cow is probably one of your most requested songs.
Yeah, well, I love doing that song. I've over the 17,000 times I've done it, I don't ever get tired of doing that.
And there's a lot of cows, especially in Jersey,
Yes, right.
that love this song. Dan has a big following of the cow population.
And Hereford, England too.
Hereford too
Yeah.
is a big following. So
Yeah.
Dan is known, throughout the world, and they like to get together and yak it up. Even though a yak is not a cow.
Right, yeah, that.
Yeah, it really
But
isn't a cow.
they're a
Jay.
herd animal though, so. Yeah,
And so they
that's
all
it.
heard it. And so what? Let's play
And
the
they heard
song.
it. So let's hear it. We've heard it.
Here it goes. Kiss a cow.
Kiss a cow, 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 kiss a cow. Well, you could climb an oak tree and try to kiss a monkey, but monkeys are too quick to try to kiss. You could even maybe try to kiss a turkey, but turkeys could get scared and you could miss. So kiss a cow, 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 kiss a cow. Take a cover so it can't see and try to kiss a donkey, but come too close behind and it can kick. If you care to try a thriller, kiss a caterpillar, but keep your cool 'cause it could make you sick. So kiss a cow, 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 kiss a cow. Well, you could try a nothing and take a kiss of pumpkin, but pumpkins are no fun to kiss at all. No. You could kiss a black crow, but every kiss you must throw, 'cause you could not come close without a call. So kiss a cow, 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 kiss a cow. Well, cows are kissable, cows aren't missable, cows are permissible to kiss, I guess.
And we are back. Love that song. I can see why it's one of the most requested songs after Stairway to
A
Heaven.
moving song.
It's a very moving. It was utterly delightful.
Thank you, thank you.
So tell us more, Dan Crow, about the history of the Dan Crow brand.
Oh, let me ask Dan Crow. Dan Crow, tell us about the history of the Dan Crow brand. I'm branded. That's funny. All those teaching years, I kind of led to coming out here to LA. Well, anyway, for years I got through some friends that had heard some of my early records. We got to work a lot on some of the a lot of Disney projects, mostly Winnie the Pooh, doing educational stuff primarily with teaching phonics once again with the Winnie the Pooh characters. But then that kind of led into the work with the Disney Channel with Welcome to Pooh Corner and Dumbo Circus. And anyway, those were fun. And then I through those years of just writing those songs and still recording, I got to meet some other wonderful people who taught me. I met some other musicians, and then it's just that connection, of people. And got to meet met Kathy Fink back in the day, and she brought me over to Rounder. We did we took a couple albums with Rounder, and you were on one of them. I remember that for sure, and a lot of other friends. And then and then that led into doing some work with Sony for a few years, and that was fun. Anyway, but the travel was always there and always kept going and kept busy. Thank goodness, So still doing that.
Wow. So a lot of so you've had a really interesting history working with different record companies, and now you work with kidsmusic.com. As far as this is where obviously this podcast will reside. And how about a song from the new album?
Sure, absolutely. And working before we did working with the kidsmusic.com, that's where we get to promote all these other artists, that are out there doing it. As you know, there's some tremendous music out there in the children's music field, a genre. Well, we used that once before, genre. I love
genre,
that word.
Yeah. I think we might have used up that word.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, let's listen to it. This is one, about bullies.
Bully boy, for all the people you adore. Bully boy and bully girl, we don't need bullies in this world. Now if you are a hobbledehoy, don't become a bully boy. Misbehaving like a churl, that makes you a bully girl. To pick on others brings you joy, that makes you a bully boy. A banner of meanness you unfurl, that makes you a bully girl. Bully girl and bully boy, for all the people you annoy. Bully boy and bully girl, we don't need bullies in this world. Now if you break another's toy, that makes you a bully boy. And if you take another's pearl, that makes you a bully girl. If tough and nasty is your ploy, that makes you a bully boy. For all the insults that you hurl, that makes you a bully girl. Bully girl and bully boy, for all the people you annoy. Bully boy and bully girl, we don't need bullies in this world. Now a hobbledehoy is an awkward, gawky young person. Lots of people are hobbledehoys, but some people become angry and mean when they become hobbledehoys and become bullies. A churl, well, that's a rude, ill-bred person. Rude people are not very polite, not very nice. I like that thing called the golden rule, which says treat other people like you would have them treat you. In other words, if you be nice, they'll be nice. Yeah, I like that. That sounds good, the golden rule. Bully girl and bully boy, for all the people you annoy. Bully boy and bully girl, we don't need bullies in this world. Bully girl and bully boy, for all the people you annoy. Bully boy and bully girl, we don't need bullies in this world. Bully boy and bully girl, we don't need bullies in this world. Bully boy and bully girl, we don't need bullies in this world. Bully boy and bully girl, we don't need bullies in this world.
All right. Well, the bully topic is very prevalent these days, and really across the media, whether even in sports, and it's just a matter that there are different alternatives to resolve situations,
Yep.
and you address that a lot in that song.
Bully girls and bully boys,
Yeah.
and both indeed. And now we're going to start doing some recording, some work with STEM, science, technology, and engineering and math. So we've got a few songs that we're recording about that right now, getting involved with those.
Well, that's an interesting. I mean, how do you make those topics fun and interesting for kids? 'Cause I mean,
That's been a challenge because when you're performing, maybe your audience is 4 and 5-year-olds a lot of the time, so you want to make sure that they're getting those concepts. So it's been fun though, been going over pretty well. I've been enjoying that. So we're going to do those recordings and see how those turn out.
I'm looking forward to that. Maybe we can. Maybe we could do another interview with that. That's great. Other John Wood.
And Dan Crow, would you like to be involved with that? Yes. Yes, I would. And I'm doing the voices like Meryl Streep too.
That is really amazing.
You did all those voices. You're great at that.
Yeah. Well, that's yeah, I know what you're talking about. Well, listen, other John Wood, thank you for joining us today. That's no problem. I'll be back some other time. And Dan, thank you for being our guest today.
Well, thank you, and thank you, Dan Crow, for also interviewing me. You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Okay.
You can find Dan Crow's new album, As the Crow Flies, on kidsmusic.com. That's kids with a Z. And to all of our friends out there, we'll be back soon with another Just Kiddin'. Bye. Thanks, Dan Crow.
I'm just kidding and he's just kidding is what we do. We're just kidding and they're just kidding, you kid a little bit too. When we feel like singing, we invite some friends. We'll have some fun and laugh a lot and hope it never. I'm just kidding and he's just kidding is what we do. We're just kidding and they're just kidding, you kid a little bit too.